The extraordinary scenes played out in the Canadian Parliament on the 22nd of September of this year of a former member of the Ukrainian SS receiving not one but two standing ovations from members of Parliament has refocused public attention on the unit that veteran belonged to. 98-year-old Yaroslav Hunka was a veteran of the 14th Waffen-Grenadier Division of the SS, 1st Galizien. 3 months before the Canadian fiasco, I published a video all about the SS Galizien, as the Germans called them, and how in 1947 the British government permitted over 8,600 SS veterans, Hunka among them, to secretly settle in the United Kingdom. It was extraordinary generosity considering that the Galizien division was suspected of several heinous massacres of civilians on the Eastern Front in World War II, and whose members had sworn allegiance to Adolf Hitler and wore the uniform of Heinrich Himmler's SS. But as my video demonstrates, the reasoning behind the British acceptance of these men wasn't quite as straightforward or public as helping out war refugees. If you haven't yet seen my video, it might be worth watching it before commenting on what I'm about to show you. At the end of the video, I made reference to the fact that many SS Galizien veterans later emigrated to Canada, Hunka a good example of this. There they prospered and lived quiet, productive lives. Ukrainian cultural and nationalist groups eventually even building memorials to the division on Canadian soil, which is quite extraordinary, considering that Canada was on the Allied side in World War II, and many Canadian soldiers were killed in action fighting other parts of Himmler's SS, particularly during the bloody carnage around Caen in Normandy in 1944. But it appears that as World War II fades from lived experience to simply ancient and evidently hazy history for so many in succeeding generations, putting up memorials to Himmler's SS in Allied nations barely raises eyebrows or even a protest. But I'm not going to take the high ground and criticize Canada for allowing such things, for here in Britain memorials also exist to the SS Galizien, practically unknown but nonetheless quite brazenly displayed in public spaces. In St. Michael the Archangel Ukrainian Greek Catholic Church in the town of Derby in northern England are not one but two memorial plaques to the 14th SS Galizien. This plaque commemorates the 60th anniversary of the creation of the 14th SS and was put up in 2003. At the top is the Ukrainian symbol of the Golden Lion, commonly seen in Ukraine today, and in World War II the divisional symbol of the 14th SS Galizien, worn as a badge on the upper left arms of their tunics. The second plaque, put up in 1984, commemorates 14th SS Galizien losses during the Battle of Brody on the Eastern Front in 1944, when the division was in very heavy combat against the Red Army. Now, if any Canadian members of Parliament are watching, this next bit might be rather difficult to understand, but the Red Army, commonly referred to as the Russians, were our allies in World War II, while the Ukrainian SS was fighting for somebody called Adolf Hitler, who, according to Wikipedia, wasn't very nice. In the top centre is the Ukrainian golden trident symbol, while in the top left a German Iron Cross, and at the bottom right the unit identification badge, the Golden Lion. The oak leaves and acorn symbols found on both memorials are probably associated with the symbolism of the Waffen-SS. A much larger SS memorial exists in Scotland. Outside the Hallmuir Ukrainian Chapel in Lockerbie is this stone memorial that commemorates, you've guessed it, the SS Galizien, whose members built the chapel while living in a former POW camp on the site in 1947, where around 400 of these Ukrainian so-called refugees were housed. It features 3 badges associated with the SS Galizien. Left to right, the badge of the Ukrainian National Army's 1st Division, as the 14th SS was renamed before war's end, though in practice continued to be called the 14th SS Galizien, the Ukrainian Golden Trident, and the former SS Galizien Divisional Badge. A grant of £52,777 was given to the chapel in 2022 for its restoration. This money coming from something called the South of Scotland Enterprise, part of the Scottish Government. Presumably, Scottish taxpayers have paid for the restoration of a building built by the Waffen-SS, and that displays imagery and badges of a unit involved in, according to the Polish government and Jewish and many Holocaust groups, war crimes on the Eastern Front during World War II. I'm not entirely convinced that the Scottish government completely thought this one through before opening its chequebook. Anyway, Canadian MPs can take heart, as British lawmakers are apparently similarly affected by what I've classified historicus pygmeitis, one of the symptoms of this cruel new disease being inane clapping with a rather confused expression on one's face. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and share, and also visit my audiobook channel, War Stories with Mark Felton. You can also help to support both of my channels at PayPal and Patreon. Details in the description box below.